You're looking for a new and different jazz club. Have you heard of the Tutuma Social Club? Say you're hungry for foreign flavors, the cuisine of Peru, for example. I ask again, have you heard of the Tutuma Social Club? Here to tell us more about the Tutuma experience is Santina Matwey, the owner of the Tutuma Social Club in Manhattan.
Yes.
Tell us about your club. Why Peruvian? You're not even Peruvian from what I understand.
No, I'm actually Italian, but I went to Peru for the first time in July of 2008 with what is my resident band, the Gabriel Alegria Afro-Peruvian Sextet.
That's the band that performs at the Social Club now?
Yeah, they perform every Friday and Saturday there, along with other bands, but they're our main residency band there, and they run a tour where they bring their fans to Peru, so you get to see all these great things that you wouldn't normally get to see when you're going on your own or with another tour. And one of the places we went to were Peñas, where they play traditional Afro-Peruvian music, have traditional Afro-Peruvian food, and I just fell in love with the culture of Peru, the cuisine, everything. So I decided when I came back that I wanted to open a jazz club.
You wanted to bring the Peruvian culture to New York?
Yes.
And there was no such thing here?
No, there aren't any other peñas like Tutuma in New York City at all.
So what makes Tutuma different? So people know exactly what we're talking about.
Right. Well, Tutuma is different because we want to really showcase the way of Peruvian culture. So that's, and it's a very unique thing. The vibe of our club is very warm and friendly, which is not something you find very often in New York. It's very social, so everyone sort of sits together, and even though you may not know the person next to you, you start to talk and become friends. And of course there's the music, there's the drinks, there's the food, and that combination is the experience that is Tutuma. So that's all of those things together is what makes it very unique and special.
So in the old days when we thought of a social club, at least when I thought of a social club, let me speak for myself, I thought of a place where a bunch of friends in the neighborhood got together, maybe played some dominoes, had a few beers, but that was it. That was the social club. What you're describing is more like a restaurant nightclub. Right,
and Tutuma Social Club isn't, the name Tutuma Social Club doesn't mean it's exclusive or that it's, you have to be a member only to get in.
Right.
It is only a name that we came up with because on that tour that I went on the first time, the Tutuma is actually a drink. And
that was my next question.
Yeah, it's a drink that's made in a town called Chincha in Peru.
And what's in it?
Well, it's a fruit that is called Tutuma. It doesn't grow anywhere other than in that region of Peru. It looks sort of like a hairless coconut. I've never seen anything like it. It's very scary looking. But what they do is they dry that out and they ferment that with pisco, fig wine, and secret ingredients that the woman that makes it for us.
Secret ingredients.
Yes, she won't say what everybody, there's a few people that make Tutuma. She has the best one, Senora Susana, and she makes it for us. And when I went, that's the one we had. In the back of our bus was the Tutuma Social Club. So only people drinking and having fun could be back there. So that was the most logical name.
So you figured this is what I want to recreate in New York City.
Exactly.
So where is the club?
It's on 56th Street between 3rd and Lexington in Manhattan.
And you have live entertainment what days of the week?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. You describe the Afro-Peruvian music and the Afro-Peruvian cuisine. Tell me, so people at home will know exactly what are you talking about. How is that, first of all, let's deal with the music. How is Afro-Peruvian jazz different than American jazz?
Sure. Well, Afro-Peruvian jazz incorporates a lot of the Afro-Peruvian rhythms and instruments that are unique to the coast of Peru. That's where Afro-Peruvian music is from, the coast of Peru. There's many different types of music in Peru.
There's a large African community in Peru.
Very large.
A lot of people don't know that.
Right, a very large. The Spanish brought slaves over, and then the slaves, of course, integrated with the culture. So their instruments were initially instruments that could double as other things so that the Spanish wouldn't take them away from them. So they had things like the cajon, which is basically a box. And it's just a box with a hole in the back.
A box you actually sit on.
You sit on top of it
and you play on the side.
Exactly, yes. Exactly. So there's that. There's the cajita, which was again a little box, but they used it in church to collect money. So there's all these little instruments that they use. The quijada, which is also, it's kind of a weird one. It's the jawbone of a donkey. I don't know if you've ever seen it,
Sure,
but
I've seen them.
when you hit the sides of
vibrates.
it vibrates, it rattles, and so it's very cool. So all these instruments are incorporated into the music, and a lot of the music that we have performing at Tutuma incorporates these elements into it. So that's what makes it unique. And also there's a special rhythms that are considered Afro-Peruvian as well.
So tell me about Gabriel Alegría and his sextet. That's the
Sure.
group performing there. When are they there?
They're there Friday and Saturday, and they're amazing. They taken jazz and Afro-Peruvian music to a different level, and their band, just like Peruvian culture in general, is really about their vibe and how they relate to the audience, and they really work with the energy of the audience, and it goes back and forth, and
So
it becomes.
if you go there, they expect you to become part of the show.
Yeah, and that's really Peruvian music in general, Afro-Peruvian music. You're wanted to participate. It's audience participation for sure. There's clapping, there's singing along. People sometimes start dancing, and it's that love and that goes back and forth. That's just really incredible. And every show that they perform is always different because of the people in the band and the customers that are there. So it's really a lot of fun.
So let's switch to the food now.
Sure.
Is it African influence as well?
No, it's Peruvian food, but what we
Traditional?
It's not
Peruvian food?
traditional. It's
Okay.
a contemporary take on traditional dishes. So some traditional dishes are ají de gallina or anticuchos, which those are very common in Peru. But we've sort of taken them and made them a little bit different. So our ají de gallina has actually become a fondue. Our anticuchos are not made with beef heart, but they're made with pieces of filet mignon with wakatay mashed potato. So these are all
You're making me
cool.
hungry.
I'm hungry myself. We should all go.
So tell me about the foundation. You have an Afro-Peruvian foundation that actually runs Tutuma?
Well, no, what we've done is partnered with the foundation, and the Afro-Peruvian Foundation for the Arts helps us present all the live music that we have without a cover charge. When I opened in 2009, I wanted to make sure that our venue was a place where anybody could go, and that they didn't feel like they had to pay in order to listen to it. I wanted everyone to be able to just come and listen.
So you got some subsidies from the foundation?
Yeah, they help us, and we collect donations. People make donations to the foundation. So it really is a great thing, and we're able to present amazing music that we wouldn't normally be able to.
So there's no cover charge?
No, there's no cover
You
charge.
just pay for the food and you
Exactly.
free entertainment.
Exactly.
And how big a place is it? How big a crowd do you get on the weekends?
Well, Tutuma's on the smaller side. It's an intimate venue. So we have about 40 seats at tables and then a few at the bar. And normally on the weekends, we're very, very busy. So it's all packed in. People make reservations.
People need
Yes,
reservations to get in?
definitely reservations, because then you can make sure you have a seat.
And what is the crowd like? Are they, some of them are Peruvian?
Yeah,
mostly Peruvian?
It depends. Peruvians are not the main customer for Tutuma, but we do have Peruvians that do come by. As a matter of fact, next week we'll be celebrating July 28th, which is Peruvian Independence Day. So then we'll have lots of Peruvians all over the place at Tutuma. But on other days, there's all different types of people. People who love jazz, people who love music in general, people who want to try something different. So it's not necessarily only Peruvians that go
So
to
it's
Tutuma.
this fusion of food and Latin jazz or Afro-Peruvian jazz all coming together in one single place.
Yes.
The reaction of the people that go there for the first time, what do they tell you? Especially people who are not familiar with the Peruvian culture.
That they're surprised that something like this exists in Manhattan. It's usually the first thing. A lot of people actually thank me for opening Tutuma because they think it's
How long have you been there?
2 years now, a little over 2 years. And it's a very unique place, and most people, when they experience it, like, oh, I have to tell all my friends. I just don't. I never seen anything like this. I've never been to any place like this, and
I
it's
imagine
really
it might make some people want to actually go to Peru and see the real thing. Then
Yes, and
do you actually tell them about your trip and how this whole thing began? Or
absolutely.
Is that part of the
Yeah, that's
atmosphere?
that's part of the fun, because on the for the tours, the Tour Peru, we're going to have our 5th Tour Peru now. That's coming up this January. We tell people about it. The band tells people about it, and we do something called mixers, where people who are interested in the tour come to Tutuma. They hang out with us. They listen to
So
the
when is
music.
the next
and
tour?
January. It's January 13th, I believe.
Okay, so
the tour.
how many people do you usually take down there?
Well, the maximum is 34. So we cannot take more than 34, because we want to make sure that the tour is actually like you're traveling with the band. So we need to make sure that we're all on one bus.
Wow.
So 34 is the max.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's amazing.
Where do people get a hold of you? Give us the address of the restaurant again, and if you have a website, a phone, please give it all to us so that we can
We're located.
make reservations.
Yes, please make reservations. The address is 164 East 56th Street. We're on 56 between 3rd and Lexington. Our website is tutumasocialclub.com. They can make reservations by calling 646-300-0305, or they can just email reservations@tutumasocialclub.com.
Save me a seat. I got a reservation. I'm making my reservation right now. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure having you on the program. Good
Thank
luck with
you.
that. It sounds
Thank you.
great.
Thank
We
you.
need a
Thank
lot
you.
more Latino culture in New York.
I agree.